Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is me, Waddles. Mojang, they like to do a little bit of teasing, a little bit of jokes. As recently as the 1.20 update, devs have revealed future features in unconventional ways, like tweets and sometimes joke updates. Gosh, it was like a million years ago, but like a million years ago, the devs released one of the most amazing snapshots of all time, the infinite snapshot. Inside of this infinite snapshot, the devs did exactly what the name says. They added infinite dimensions. Now, some of these dimensions, like whatever this thing is right here, is a little bit familiar looking, but some of these other dimensions are a little bit more chaotic and were so alien at the time. But that generation right there, yeah, that's like the Dripstone Caves pillar. Also, that thing right there, added in 2020. Very familiar looking though. Fast forward to nowadays, and we have a block actually in vanilla Minecraft that is so suspiciously similar. And also, if you're an OG, you might remember that block before. There was a bookshelf too. A handful of months ago, Mojang released one of the most fire joke snapshots of all time. And oh boy, when it comes to strange features, there's a lot here. Knowing that Mojang will sometimes add features early, could they have already added 1.21 stuff? Let's take a look. I mean, who knows? You never know. Maybe in the future, the place block will make it into Minecraft 1.21. So the place block, it's admittedly a very strange looking block. It's weird. This block is so interesting though. We got a hole on one side. If we go ahead and hook a hopper up to that hole and then put something inside of that hopper, maybe like, I don't know, diamond blocks, then we go ahead and power this thing, it'll actually place a block down. Fascinating. Now, a couple of the devs have gone out and said before that they want players to actually play the game. You know, maybe not build this gigantic floating redstone machine that walks around your world if you're Mumbo or something and just like places blocks everywhere. But I mean, today is all about the mystery. When it comes to redstone, something like this would be one of the most interesting additions of all time. In the future, if this thing were to be added, maybe to limit it a little bit, make it not so overpowered flying machine that places blocks everywhere type thing, maybe the devs just say, just like a container or obsidian, and it can't be moved. But it could definitely place. One of the most interesting things in the vote update, and honestly, one of the things that I think could be most likely, is being able to change biome colors. I don't think I have a vote for that yet. By taking a look at some of the commands that we have here, we can see all of these different biome options here. Depending on what vote you're offered, you can completely change a biome. Aha, speaking of that, keep your friends close, but set watercolor in the forest to dark olive. Oh, for sure. Oh, okay, so look, I'll admit with this one, we have to be a little bit more imaginative. Olive water in the forest biome, maybe that doesn't happen. But the fact that it could happen, like thanks to all of the command work that has been done in recent updates, you can literally just change the color of anything inside of a biome. Almost like a season. Like a season. Not only is it one of the most requested community ideas, but I also couldn't find any dev comments on yes or no. Looking back at this vote update and everything that was in it, I feel like this was one of the things that is just like outright goofy inside of the snapshot, but also like really overlooked. Feels like there's a lot of technical stuff that would go into this one. 1.16's Nether update overhauled the Nether with better ambiance, biomes, and everything. 1.18 redid terrain everywhere. What if 1.21 makes that terrain a whole lot more interesting by allowing some places to change dynamically? Or, what if 1.21 adds the pickaxe block? Alright, so it's been a minute since I messed with this pickaxe block, but this is another really interesting one. I believe somehow, maybe like it faces that way or something, and then we go ahead and power it, and just like that, we could use this pickaxe block. Maybe, hey, step it up a little bit, combine it with like a piston, go ahead and move it. Use the pickaxe block to mine things away. Now look, I can't lie, just like that plays block one, this one is insane. I almost feel like this one is maybe too insane. Like, it couldn't really make it into the game, could it? But at the same time, I mean, could it? Yeah, you know what, on second thought, maybe not. Maybe this is a little bit unrealistic. A fully automatic block machine, just like that. Yeah, Mojang wouldn't. They couldn't, right? But what about sizes? And this isn't even a joke or anything, but seriously, what about sizes? What about changing the size of the player for whatever reason? Maybe with a potion? Maybe with like a bad effect? Is this a concept unlike anything in the entire game? Oh, 100% absolutely. But also, in the more recent Bedrock previews, they've been working on movement, sneaking, crawling, everything like that. And I mean, sure, it's a really strange idea, but at the same time, why couldn't they do this? You have a potion that makes you a little bit bigger. Maybe you have a potion that makes you a little bit smaller. Or again, some kind of effect. Imagine how absolutely amazing it would be to experience an ancient city, but like, be able to shrink yourself down a little bit. Maybe making you a little bit quieter, definitely a little bit faster. Something like this would be one of the biggest updates of all time. It would completely change how we think about movement in Minecraft. Like being able to drink a potion of big or something like that, get the effect from something, and then maybe you could jump a little bit higher than normal. Like I'm not sure if it works like it in the snapshot, but imagine this fence, and then I'm a little bit bigger so I could jump right over the fence. Not a problem. Make it even better, we're able to harness this power into a potion and just make anything small in the entire game. Maybe me, maybe a warden. I don't know, maybe something even big and bad, like the Wither. Oh no. Oh no, this is not good. Next up, let's tone it down a little bit and make it maybe a little bit more realistic, believable. Here we have a simple old dog. If we go ahead and take this name tag and rename it to something new and special, then go ahead and use the name tag on the dog, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Name tag tricks. They're one of the coolest little Easter eggs in the game, in my opinion. And like, I haven't added one in a million years. There's so many opportunities. Personally, I feel like if anything does make it into the game and should make it into the game from the joke update, like the most vanilla feeling thing, it would be name tag tricks or maybe even a brand new banner pattern. Banner patterns were one of those things that were added like a long time ago that kind of feel like forgotten about. In 1.16, they added the snout one, but why not one for the warden? From the shards to the trims added in 1.20, I would have swore that a new pattern would be added to the game as well, but unfortunately, no. They need to get on adding more of these things. They're so cool. So far today, we've looked at a lot. The vote update added a lot of things, but there is one really gigantic thing that I feel like could maybe actually be the next update. To check this one out, we're going to have to pass a couple different rules. After that, we go ahead and roll it over to midnight and look in the sky. It's time to go to the moon. And one of the most infamous changes from this joke snapshot, cows. We go ahead and feed the cow a bunch of air, then we go ahead and jump on a cow. Any minute now. With enough air inside of our cow friend, we can transport ourselves over to the moon, or in other words, a brand new dimension. Give it a little bit of time and slowly we'll find ourselves rocketing towards a brand new foreign body of land. And even more interestingly, inside of this new foreign body of land, there's a lot different. A lot to check out here. Obviously, there's no way to tell for sure, but if the devs are testing any kind of new future mechanics and updates, I feel like here might be where they're testing them. So a couple of months ago, right after the snapshot release, the moon update is something we dove into in a little bit more depth. There's a lot here. For starters, we have blocks that could actually be chiseled away. Obviously on the moon here, it's like consuming the blocks, eating them. In vanilla Minecraft, it could be a brand new chisel item. This new chisel item, kind of in my head, for whatever reason, I envision it like the brush. Maybe you use copper and something to craft it, and you could like brush a block away. But again, instead of brushing, you like chisel it. Make it whatever size and shape you want. But blocks that you could change the shape of to something crazy like that, that might be a little advanced. Instead, what about some kind of new survival bar? Say, oxygen. Or literally anything else. This one is actually kind of like what the devs did at 1.19. Think about the ancient city, the warden. Inside of the ancient city, for the very first time, you actually had to consider sneaking. It's a mechanic that's been in the game for a long time, but like, you never had to worry about vibrations, anything like that. With the addition of the warden, ancient city, deep dark, everything like that, it's a brand new type of mechanic that you have to take into consideration, the sound. They could take that concept and make it a whole dimension. Now, obviously, a deep dark dimension, it's kind of a straightforward one. After all, we got that weird portal thing going on. Like, what even is that thing? And also, I mean, there's just so much potential. But this new dimension definitely wouldn't have to take advantage of this whole new silent sneaking mechanic. It could be anything, really. In the case of our moon dimension here, it's air, oxygen. Something brand new you kind of need to worry about. But at the same time, it's not really even that new. If you go under the water, you have to worry about it. What about a whole dimension where you just need to remember to breathe? That'd be so cool. Another one of those mechanics that feels insanely advanced in this snapshot, like, in fact, almost too advanced, is the gravity mechanics on the moon. On the moon here, if we go ahead and jump right here, we jump like decently high, right? Now we're a little bit lower down. If we jump like high, but not as high. Back outside of that hole on the surface of the moon, if I build a tower really quick, climb that tower, and then jump at the top of the tower. Oh my God. Look at how high I jump. The gravity is like weaker because I'm high up. Proper gravitational mechanics. What? No way. Like, there's no chance the devs would add this to the overworld. That would make it so weird and change too much. But what about maybe in the end? Or, again, what about a new dimension where gravity is just different? And gravity being different, it wouldn't have to be this insanely advanced mechanic where if you're farther from the source of the gravity, then you could jump a little bit higher. It could simply be just like different jumping amounts. Like, imagine if in the end, when you jumped, you were able to just jump farther. Next up, not to get too sappy or anything like that, but let's think about Minecraft as a whole. One of the things that makes this game so beautiful is that every experience or world is different. But the detail, it goes even farther. Nowadays, every single structure, basically, is always different too. Or at least you get like different variants of it too. This one is development that has gone on in front of our eyes for a long time. Inside the 1.19 point something updates, they were messing with commands and display entities, a bunch of technical stuff. Then, a little bit later on, inside of the joke update, the devs actually added a structure that you trigger the generation of. Check this out. We step on a pressure plate, something rockets down. Dramatically, we back up a second and give it a second. Slowly but surely, this structure, using the display entities and everything like that, is slowly actually generates into the world and in places like proper blocks right in front of us. We get these sweet sounding sounds too, absolutely amazing, and I'm excited. I'm so excited. This thing is insane. When it comes to potential that I've seen inside of this vote update, this is one that I've been holding deep inside of my chest for a long time here. A structure that you walk up to and touch and then you generate. I feel like in terms of Minecraft and where things have been going, this is like not actually too unreasonable. Now, the size of this thing, the sheer mass of it is very gigantic. Maybe if it made it into the vanilla game, it wouldn't be so big. But like, imagine walking up to I don't know, a ruined portal. You press something, and then, I don't know, it like changes or something. I have no clue. I'm not a dev. Funnily enough, the moon dimension already looks like the end. I feel like a structure like this would work perfectly in an empty dimension like the end. Like, something that you find and maybe bring an item over to actually, like, unlock it or trigger it. And then it generates. You solve the whole puzzle, go through the structure, and then maybe, like, inside of the chest, you find something new. A structure that you trigger the generation of, and a structure that could maybe even generate differently every single time. You know, now that I think about it, what if that's the grand plan for this ancient city centerpiece? You trigger the sensors, light the lights, and something changes. Clearly, there's a lot inside of that joke update. Way more than we can look at today. But what if maybe, just maybe, some of it's more than a joke? I mean, after all, it is something that the devs have done before. But what do you think? Looking back at the joke snapshot, do you think any of it's real and hinting at what's coming next? Or is it all literally just a joke? Did you find something in this joke update that you think could very well be in 1.21? Tell me all about it down below. It's me, Waddles, and I think all of these theories have maybe gone crazy. That's enough for today.